your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. This is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, the first human cases of West Nile virus this season have been confirmed, with 3 cases identified here in the Panhandle. This summer, 40 mosquito samples from the Panhandle have tested positive for the West Nile virus, indicating an increased risk of transmission to humans. Additionally, a sample from Scottsbluff County recently tested positive for the St. Louis encephalitis virus. Health officials urged residents to take proper precautions to protect themselves and reduce the risk of infection. Well, a Gering contractor has been arrested and is facing 58 felony charges of theft and abuse of a vulnerable adult. Court records say that Adam Ramirez of AAR Construction, LLC, was hired to remodel a home on S Street in Gering. The quote for the job was $37,000, but from March until December of 2024, Ramirez requested and was paid nearly $173,500 after getting the 92-year-old victim to write a total of 30 checks. When the victim's family members checked on the progress of the remodel, all that had been done was some flooring, painting, and 3 of 20 windows were installed, albeit incorrectly. An arrest warrant was issued yesterday, and Ramirez was booked into jail on a $250,000 bond. He's slated to be arraigned on a total of 60 charges today in Scottsbluff County Court. And a 22-year-old Scottsbluff man sentenced to 24 months in jail last year for having sexual relations with a 14-year-old girl is back in custody. Dwayne Bauer was released from jail earlier this month and was transported to a halfway house. Court records say the first night there, he asked staff to perform inappropriate sexual acts with him. Later that night, he left the facility and failed to register as a sex offender. A warrant for his arrest for probation violation was issued, and on Wednesday, he was transported back to Scottsbluff County, and he'll be back in court on Friday to answer those charges. We'll have more news right after this.
Whether you're gardening, searching for the perfect vacation home, or planning your next travel destination, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James financial advisors, Jody Rosiska and Kevin Figg, get to know you, your passions, and your vision for the future, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
When it comes to your health, you deserve the very best. At Morrill County Community Hospital, they provide top-notch care with compassion and expertise. From routine checkups to advanced surgeries, their dedicated team is here for you 24/7. With state-of-the-art technology and a patient-first approach, they ensure you and your loved ones receive the highest quality care. Because at Morrill County Community Hospital, your health is their priority. Visit Morrill County Community Hospital today in Bridgeport. Morrill County Community Hospital. Exceptional care right here at home.
Welcome back. Secretary of State Bob Evnen traveled to Washington, D.C. this week to meet with officials to discuss access to federal data systems. He joined other secretaries of state for a meeting hosted by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services and the White House to review logistical details for making federal databases available to states for use in maintaining voter registration lists. The move comes after a March executive order that allows state and local election officials access to federal databases to more efficiently and effectively maintain their voter registration lists to preserve and protect the integrity of U.S. elections. Evnen says these databases will further improve the efficiency of our election processes and that they will use them prudently, ensuring that no lawfully registered voters are disenfranchised. And the Nebraska Attorney General's Office is committed to assisting Nebraska citizens who fall victim to scams that rob them of their money and personal information. And this week, they announced a new way to keep people alert. The Nebraska Attorney General's Office will be issuing a recurring video series on their YouTube channel known as Consumer Alerts, which will provide valuable information regarding recent harmful scams across Nebraska and give insight on how to avoid and recover from them. New videos covering overpayment, debt relief, and social media imposter scams have already been published. The AGO says scammers are growing smarter and finding new ways to use technology to take advantage of Nebraskans, and their office is always available to help consumers identify scams.
Welcome to Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. Whether you're a wine enthusiast, a whiskey sommelier, a tequila connoisseur, or you just love your beer, Kelly's has the best selection of what you're looking for. Family owned and operated since 1946 and right on 27th Street in Scottsbluff. Come see us today at Kelly's Liquor, your liquor cabinet. And remember to be a good neighbor. Don't drink and drive. Kelly's Liquor, West 27th Street in Scottsbluff.
Fly United Airlines, operated by SkyWest with Western Nebraska Regional Airport. United is dedicated to going the extra mile for you with daily flights to and from Denver, along with a commitment to excellent service. Reserve your flight today, and remember, United miles can be earned and redeemed with your flights. While at the airport, stop and enjoy authentic Italian food at Roma Italian Restaurant. Plus, Hertz Thrifty Car Rental is there for your car rental needs. Make life easier, relax, and get on board with Western Nebraska Regional Airport.
I imagined retirement in a place where we could enjoy our golden years, where adventure and friendship are the only items on the schedule. The Garden Homes at Northfield gives us the luxury we planned for and peace of mind when it comes to convenience, safety, and comfort. We never have to stop and think about the day-to-day upkeep. We love to explore abroad, but most importantly in our backyard. So much to do, so much to see. Here at Northfield, we get the protection of life care, incredible tax benefits, and secured rates for aging services. It's peaceful, knowing that if our needs change, we'll be taken care of. And most importantly, that our kids will never have to make any tough decisions. There never seemed to be enough time to do all the things we wanted. Now we get to focus our energy on enjoying what this community has to offer. At the Garden Homes, life is ours again. A place we had dreamed about. A chance to focus on us.
From the Rural Radio Network Market Desk, I'm Bryce Duskett as we continue our conversation with Daryl Peel. He's with Oklahoma State University as we dive into last week's two big reports coming out from USDA that impact the cattle industry. That's the July cattle inventory report alongside the cattle on feed report. Daryl, July 1st, the July 1, I should say, report showed a small increase in the beef cow number compared to January. How should we interpret that, and what kind of early herd rebuilding signs are we seeing, if any?
Yeah, so, the first one, again, in these two reports, for the cattle on feed report, we were looking at the July quarterly breakdown of steers and heifers in the feedlots. It dropped some in April, the last quarterly report, so we were looking to see if it would drop further. It actually ticked back slightly higher. So the cattle on feed side of it says that about 38% of all the feedlot inventories are still heifers. The cattle inventory report gives us a direct estimate of those beef replacement heifers, and that number was, as we said earlier, the smallest in the history of that report. If you look at the heifers as a percentage of the beef cow herd, it's at the lowest level also in that report. So all of these taken together would again say, from a data standpoint, we can't confirm any heifer retention at this point. Now, if you talk to producers out in the country, there's a lot of interest in it. I think a lot of people are asking questions, but I think, it appears that it's still pretty cautious. And I think when you put it all together, the data as well as what I hear out in the country, I would say that we're moving very slow. If there's any heifer retention, it's at a fairly minimal level and moving very cautiously at this point.
Daryl, some of the most notable drops in placements came from states like Texas and Oklahoma. What extent do you think the border closure with Mexico is impacting feedlot supplies, particularly down there in the south?
Well, that's certainly one of the factors. I mean, we know feeder cattle supplies are tight, and obviously the fact that the border's closed means that we're not getting those Mexican cattle. It's obviously the biggest impact on those feedlots in that region that rely on those supplies. They're really scrambling to find alternative sources of cattle, but it is having some impact nationally as well. It contributes to that tight supply. Out of the mid-year cattle inventory report, we estimate the feeder supply that's not already in the feedlots, and that number was also the lowest that we can calculate for that report. So all of the numbers across the board with this, even with it, or especially with this border issue added in, confirm that we have extremely tight cattle supplies at this point.
Great insights. Daryl Peel from Oklahoma State University joining us as we talk about the July cattle inventory report, and the latest cattle on feed report. I'm Bryce Duskett reporting.
It's time for an upgrade, and don't spend a dime for 2 years. That's right, 0 zip zilch, with no money down, no interest, and no payments for 24 months. That's August 2027. Say goodbye to drafts and outdated design, and hello to our acclaimed replacement windows and our stunning ensemble entry doors. Get energy-efficient windows and doors and beautiful upgrades with 0 regrets. Call today or visit rbawyoming.com to book your free estimate.
Let's take a peek at your weekend community calendar brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
You deserve to have a building that will last for generations. With more than 110 years of experience and thousands of satisfied customers, Morton Buildings is the industry leader you can trust. If you're planning for a garage, farm shop, horse barn, storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, there's no better time to buy. Contact your local Morton sales office or visit mortonbuildings.com to get started today.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you take advantage of every adventure. We know you have plans, goals, and dreams. Let us help you with them. Whether it is building, buying, or renovating, we have the home loan or home equity line of credit to fit your needs. Stop in and see us at Platte Valley Bank and let us help make your dreams a reality. You belong here. Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And finally tonight, Humanities Nebraska is bringing the Weaving a Nation Nebraska Chautauqua to Gering and Scottsbluff next week. This Chautauqua will offer many different opportunities to hear and experience the lesser-known stories of the founding of our nation. Some of the events will include a weaving class at the West Nebraska Arts Center, a presentation on the origins of the American cowboy culture at the Legacy of the Plains Museum, and an evening with Abigail Adams at the Midwest Theater. All events are free and open to the public, and a schedule of events can be found on our website at kneb.com. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be on vacation all of next week, but I'll be back at the Anchor Desk on Monday, August 11th. Until then, take care.